In an electrifying twist that fans never saw coming, Jin of BTS stunned the world during his solo encore concert in Incheon, with a surprise onstage reunion featuring none other than Jungkook and J-Hope. As the evening reached its fever pitch under the glowing lights of Munhak Stadium, an unexpected performance of So What from BTS's 2019 Map of the Soul. Persona album turned into a chaotic, joyful water war that exploded into viral history. The moment didn't just light up the night, it reignited something that had been dormant since BTS began their individual activities and mandatory military service. Jin, always known for his emotional depth and impeccable timing, chose the final night of his number Jin Seokjin, EP. Tour a solo world tour that had crossed 9 cities across Asia, North America, and Europe to deliver one of the most unforgettable stage surprises in recent K-pop history. As the beat of So What dropped, fans could hardly believe their eyes when Jungkook appeared first, quickly followed by J-Hope. The crowd erupted. But it wasn't just a cameo, it was chaos, the beautiful kind. Water bottles flew, the members laughed uncontrollably, and fans screamed so loudly the stadium trembled. The imagery couldn't have been more perfect. It felt like 2019 again. A flashback to the golden days of BTS's Speak Yourself tour, where the water fights were a signature joy. Only this time, it was different, heavier, more symbolic. These weren't just idols being playful. These were men who had served their country, grown through solitude and experience, and were now reuniting in front of 30,000 adoring fans who had waited years for this kind of moment. Jin's solo journey, marked by the success of albums like Happy and Echo, has proven his power not just as a member of BTS, but as a global solo act. And yet, the reunion with Jungkook and J-Hope proved that no matter how far their paths diverge, their connection remains unbreakable. "This is a very special night," Jin said during a brief post-show interview. "I'm so happy to share the stage with Jungkook and J-Hope again. We've waited for this." Social media immediately exploded. Clips of the water fight flooded TikTok and X, formerly Twitter, racking up millions of views within hours. "This is the BTS I fell in love with," one ARMY wrote. "Their bond is still so real. It's not for the cameras, it's family." Others echoed the sentiment, describing the night as healing and the moment we've all been waiting for. The emotional resonance of the performance was heightened by the context, the nearing full reunion of BTS. Suga, the last member still completing his alternative military service, is expected to return this month. With that, all eyes are now firmly on 2026, the year that Big Hit confirmed would mark BTS's long-awaited comeback as a full group. But fans don't need to wait until then to feel the magic. For many, that reunion has already begun, and it started with this water-soaked, joy-filled night in Incheon. Jin's concert didn't just celebrate his achievements as a soloist, it served as a reminder to the world, and perhaps even to the members themselves, that BTS's story isn't over. If anything, it's entering its most powerful chapter yet. As fireworks lit up the Incheon sky and the echoes of So What faded into the night, one thing became crystal clear. When Jin, Jungkook, and J-Hope stand on the same stage, the world watches, remembers, and believes all over again. As dawn approached the city of Incheon, the echoes of the night before refused to fade. Fans were still buzzing, not just in Korea, but all across the globe, where hashtags like #Jin Seokjin Encore, #Jin Jungkook J-Hope, and #BTS Waterfight 2025 were trending at #1 in over 38 countries. Global media outlets from Rolling Stone to Billboard, from GQ to the New York Times quickly jumped on the moment, with headlines calling it a night of healing, the return of BTS energy, and a cultural reset for 2025. What made the moment truly groundbreaking wasn't just nostalgia, it was timing. Jin, fresh from his discharge in June, had launched his solo tour Jin Seokjin EP tour with enormous success, selling out venues from Los Angeles to Paris. Jungkook and J-Hope, completing their service just months apart, had been relatively low profile. But for all three to appear together, unscripted and genuinely joyful, sent a clear message. They're ready. Industry experts are now viewing this moment as a strategic emotional pivot. According to Korean entertainment analyst Cha Sung-jin, the encore concert wasn't just a closing act, it was a quiet signal that BTS as a unit still has gravity. Even in their solo eras, their collective force can still shake the industry without warning. Big Hit Music declined to comment on whether this moment was planned or spontaneous, but ARMYs believe it was a gift, a spontaneous reunion meant to reassure and electrify fans. The global K-pop community is still digesting the emotional weight of it. For many fans, especially longtime ARMY who watched BTS grow from small stages to global arenas, this wasn't just a reunion, it was a return of faith, a reminder that no matter how far they explore as soloists, the brotherhood remains. The emotional resonance of the night was also seen in the small moments, Jin smiling mid-song as Jungkook playfully splashed him, or J-Hope taking the mic just long enough to say, "We're home." And perhaps no moment summed it up better than the group hug at the end of the set. 3 silhouettes against the flashing lights, soaked and laughing, holding on to each other not as global icons, but as friends who've walked through the storm together. In fan communities around the world, from cafes in Seoul to Discord servers in Brazil, reaction videos began flooding YouTube, many of them emotional. Some fans broke into tears. "I never thought I'd see them together like this again so soon," one Filipino fan shared in a live stream. It wasn't just a performance, it was healing. Beyond fan emotion, the night also had ripple effects across the fashion and brand world. All 3 members were adorned in distinct designer fits, with Jin showcasing an unreleased piece rumored to be part of Gucci's upcoming winter line. The look, a bold red with sharp contours and subtle shimmer, instantly became a fan obsession. Jin brought back the superstar stage aura, something we've missed deeply, Vogue Korea's fashion editor noted. As the world moves toward 2026, where BTS is expected to reunite fully as a group, this moment becomes a powerful emotional bookmark, a reminder of who they were, who they've become, and who they still are together. It also raises the emotional stakes for what's next. If this is what they deliver in a surprise reunion, what might the full comeback unleash? What's clear now is that Jin Seokjin EP Tour will not just be remembered for showcasing Jin's beautiful evolution as an artist. It will be remembered for rewriting the emotional trajectory of K-pop's biggest global force. And all it took was a splash of water, a roaring crowd, and 3 brothers willing to come together not for a press headline, not for a new record, but just to remind the world that they never left. In the days following the concert, international media couldn't stop talking. CNN's pop culture segment dubbed it the emotional reunion that broke the internet, while The Guardian praised it as a masterclass in timing, intimacy, and legacy. Even Variety wrote that the spontaneous trio moment did more for K-pop diplomacy than any planned promotion ever could. But the most poignant reactions came not from reporters, but from fans young and old who grew up with BTS and saw this as a living metaphor. No matter how far we drift, we always come home. Jin himself responded to the flood of emotion in a heartfelt Weverse post 2 nights after the encore, writing simply, "That night felt like time rewound. I wasn't just singing, I was remembering. Thank you for staying with me." Jungkook, known for his raw honesty, replied in the comments with a string of teary face emojis followed by, "Hyung, let's do this again. Next time with all 7. And that reply alone sent shockwaves. Speculation immediately reignited. Is this confirmation of BTS's full comeback? Is a group album being prepped behind the scenes? Will OT7 return with a world tour? Behind the scenes, whispers are growing louder. Staff insiders who worked the encore show reported seeing all 3 members rehearse for hours off camera, revisiting old choreography with laughter, sometimes even with visible emotion. One source even claimed that J-Hope had tears in his eyes backstage, whispering to a coordinator, "I miss this. I miss them." This wasn't just a performance, it was catharsis for the artists, for the fans, and for the story of BTS itself. As other members complete their military service and prepare for their returns, the image of Jin, Jungkook, and J-Hope laughing in the rain, clothes soaked and hearts full, will remain etched into BTS history. Armies across the world have already begun calling it the Night of Red Rain, a tribute to Jin's bold red stagewear and the emotional water fight that signaled the breaking of emotional dam walls, not just among fans, but within the members themselves. Artworks, fan fiction, TikTok montages, and tribute videos are flooding platforms. Some have even suggested building a digital memory capsule to immortalize the event for future generations of fans. Industry executives now admit what fans have always known. BTS was never just a group. It was and remains a living, breathing bond, one that can bend, stretch, separate, but never break. And as 2026 looms, that bond is ready to take center stage again. As the lights dimmed in Munhak Stadium that night, Jin stood at the edge of the stage for a moment longer than necessary. He looked out across 30,000 fans, his face unreadable, the roar echoing like thunder. Then, almost as if speaking to himself, he whispered into his mic, "Next time, let's make it 7." The stadium exploded. For now, the encore has ended, the rain has dried, but the story? It's only just beginning.